We got a little task at hand here. It's a few years past due.
Yeah, I can't see.
Well, that's a problem.
Yeah,
we might have just the thing here to fix that.
Do we now?
We'll see. We'll see. And no rides.
No rides.
No rides. All right, you want to explain what's going on?
We've got a lake dam that's grown up. So, I can't even see over the weeds.
So you guys have followed the channel for years and years and years. I say years and years. I guess it'd be 5 years.
Something around there.
Somewhere around there. Math's not good for us early in the morning.
Start New Year's, so let's say 6 years.
No, I think that'll be 5th year.
Oh, that'll be 5th.
Oh, we're going off the rails and haven't even got started yet this morning. So, all right, this is actually out here in front of the house, and you guys know every couple years, usually we put the brush hog attachment on the 120 excavator, and we mow this hill. 2 years ago, we had tractor time with Tim up here and attempted to mow with a Ventrac. It worked. It was a little slipping and sliding, and it's actually going on 3 years since this has been mowed, so it is way past due. But we had the folks from Dixie Chopper show up this morning, and they had this little remote control guy, and they wanted to give it a try. So
yeah,
you think that? I mean, the grass is like 4 times taller than that thing.
How's it going to see its way through there?
I don't know. Remember, no rides.
No rides. No rides.
All right. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, Mike.
Eli, is that correct?
Yes,
all right.
sir.
Don't get me wrong. I've been known in the past to call people by the wrong name. We're not going to mention Fort Trevor. It's a long story. I'll have to explain later. So, you are the marketing expert with Dixie Chopper.
Yes, sir. This
This is what I love about these demos. I'm going to get way off track already. Is the actual demo guy is standing back there somewhere, and he don't want to do the demo.
Yep.
So they get the marketing guy to do it.
Draw the short straw.
Oh, the short straw. But before this is over, he's going to probably be back here saying, "No, that's wrong."
I always fear that. I'm gonna say the wrong thing on camera.
But at least they got him on hand up there,
That's
so
right.
that's the main
He
thing.
can smack my hand later.
All right, so what is this? I'm gonna call it contraption for now until you explain better about what we got here.
Right.
So
this is what we're calling a Dixie Chopper Talon RC. So remote control slope mower is really what this thing is for. So under the hood, you've got a 28 horse fuel injected Vanguard engine.
before you even open the hood, can we just admire the beauty of this right here? You got the American flag with the eagle.
Yeah.
Got the nice cowling. I mean, I don't know if you can call an RC mower sexy, but that thing looks pretty good.
Very good looking lawnmower. Yes,
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yes,
so,
sir.
all right, I'll let you go on with the nuts and bolts of this thing.
So this machine is designed for just safe operation. Guys who need to safely mow inclines up to 55 degrees. This thing will climb up and down and sideways, any direction you want to take it.
55 degrees. I don't, man, the slope is so hard to show on camera.
It is.
That is steep.
You can't walk up it. I mean, in 55
So
degrees.
if you guys are familiar with like a speed square, that slope on a speed square is 45 degrees. So add another 5 degrees of that, and I guess roofers would know. That'd be like what, a 10, 12, somewhere in there.
It's a nasty incline.
I'm trying. I will come up with a good way to describe it. That is steep.
Yeah,
That is steep,
you
steep,
certainly
steep.
wouldn't want to put a tractor or a ZTR or
No,
anything like that on
I mean on dozers and stuff, 30, maybe 35 degrees, but you got some pretty serious pucker factor going on. Anything under 30 is pretty comfortable.
Yep.
55 degrees. Wowzers.
Yes, sir.
That's steep. All right, I'm sorry. I keep
all
getting...
good, all good. So yeah, that's who we're targeting with this machine. DOTs, municipalities, Parks and Rec guys are doing big dams, hillsides. That's who this machine would really benefit. Under the hood, you've got the 28 horse fuel injected Vanguard engine. This is actually a hybrid system. So the engine is powering a generator, has inverters for the electric drive system. And then on the engines, you have the oil guard system. So you're getting the 500-hour oil change interval, but also supplying that oil. As you get on those steep inclines, you gotta make sure that you got that oil pumping through there so you're not starving the engine.
So just to elaborate on that a little bit more, kind of put this in dumbed down features. This is basically, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is basically an external oil tank, which would be pretty similar to like what a race car or something would run.
Right.
So it's an external slump, which is pressurized. So you have longer intervals because you got increased capacity.
Correct.
And then you also maintain pressure to it because you've got that there always available under pressure to make sure this thing never loses oil pressure.
That's exactly right.
No matter what slope or which pitch which you're at. Because
great summary.
the old Briggs are really bad with a rod slinger in them.
Okay.
You get them on the side of a hillside, that slinger get out of the oil. next thing you know, you're shopping for a new motor. So I'm guessing
trying to prevent that.
Yeah, we're trying to prevent that. So that's good engineering there. Now, I want to get to the hybrid system in a second, but one other thing I noticed is a little bit different is the gas tank setup.
Yep. So you can hot swap the gas tanks. It's a little 2-gallon can there.
So I'm going to come around to this side. So basically, this thing does not have a built-in onboard fuel containment, correct?
That's exactly right. Yep.
So this is the gas tank here, and basically if you run out of gas, you flip that up, pull this one out, put a new one in.
Yep.
You're off and gone, so you're not pouring hot gas down in there.
That's the trick, right?
And then I'm assuming if you were to have an accident, this thing would go rolling or get out of control for some reason, you don't have gas flying anywhere and causing a fire or anything like that. So pretty well thought out on that. So the hybrid system. This thing has no hydraulics on it whatsoever.
Nope, no hydraulics in terms of the drive system like you would see on the ZTR.
So the blades are mechanically driven through a belt. Electric clutch. Pretty similar setup the lawnmowers have used for years and years and years.
This is a 2-blade design as opposed to traditionally a 3-blade.
So while we're on the subject of blades, I'm assuming you got multiple different blade setups for different applications.
So this one comes standard with more of a free swinging blade, like a mulching deck, like like a brush cutter.
Gotcha.
So that way, as we're coming down here in this hills and we're coming over like these willow trees and some of these big nasty.
Let me see if I can get you guys a shot of that. So basically, a traditional lawnmower would have a standard blade. So if that blade hits a rock or something solid, it has to stop or slip. With this setup here, can we get in there and look? Oh yes, we're gonna go in, folks. We're going in. These little blades right here will pivot back and forth. So if it hits something, it can actually move, and it's got another place to give and get that energy out of there before it actually breaks something. So
yep, that's exactly right.
So then the hybrid system. So basically the engine is also turned to a generator.
Yep.
Which produces the power to drive the track system.
Exactly. So it's got 2 inverters converting that 12-volt energy into 48-volt. And then you got an actuator on the back, and that's your deck lift assembly. So as you're raising and lowering the deck, the engine and the deck all kind of come together as one piece, keeping that belt tension consistent throughout the entire experience.
I mean, I hate to be Mr. Obvious, but as long as you keep the antenna on this thing, there's not a whole lot to go wrong with it, is there?
It's pretty simple in terms of that. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of moving pieces.
Obviously, everything is controlled from a safe distance.
Yep,
flat ground.
500 foot of range.
500 foot of range.
Yep.
Now,
which is a pretty great distance, really, for how
I mean,
the machine is. You wouldn't want to be any further away from that.
I'm sure one question we're going to get is there's no cameras to aid what's going on. Everything is visual, line of sight.
Yep. No autonomy or anything. It's all remote controlled.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So on this deck, it is a mulching deck. It is also bi-directional. So as we get to the top of the hill, we can actually just go up, pivot, get in the next track, start heading back down.
Do you have a preference on which way? Does it work one better than over the other?
When I'm operating, I prefer to stand at the top of the hill and work up and down this way.
Okay.
Seems a little bit easier to know where you're at in the track as opposed to looking at the hill and kind of going this way.
Gotcha.
So that's my preferred method of.
But either way is acceptable.
Yeah. It doesn't matter which way you want to put it on the hillside.
So basically, you're saying with the bi-directional deck, if you come up the hill, you can scoot over and go right back down the hill. You don't have to spin the machine around.
Exactly. So as you get to the top of the hill, you're not having to do that 0-turn movement.
Gotcha.
Moving the tracks. So that's going to also ease up on the turf, so you're not tearing up turf unintentionally by making those turns.
Right. And all the magic happens right here with this guy.
So this is the remote. Everything's here. Your track speed. So if you want to slow it down, speed it up, it's all here. Your cut height is on this this lever here.
So you can adjust the cut height right here from
on the fly.
On the fly.
So you go from 1 inch to 6 inches, and it'll even tell you how high you're cutting.
Really?
Yep. It has it on the display. Your PTO, engine start, everything's all in the remote.
Man, you know what I'm seeing? I could probably mow this dam from that living room.
Yeah.
You probably could. You're in a good spot to do that. We get that at trade shows. Everybody's like, oh, I can sit inside and mow. Yeah. You actually probably could.
Everybody wants to go deer hunting from the living room. Oh, mow
that's right.
So, all right, I got a sidetracked again. I'm bad about this, getting a sidetrack. So,
no problem.
So what about like the battery on this? Do you have to pack a set?
You got an onboard battery, and then as the machine is running, it's actually charging another battery.
Really?
Yep. So then in theory,
I see it right there, the little yellow box.
You should never be out of battery for the remote control. You should be able to always get the machine back to.
So other than keeping gas in this thing, it's pretty damn self-sufficient.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That is wild. This here is a 44-inch cut.
This is a 44-inch. Yep.
And I guess I want to point out, I'm sure some people are going to say that may be a little bit small, but this, the way this thing's set up, it's not, you can't compare it directly to a 60-inch brush hog. You know what I mean? Because you're
Yeah.
going to be able to make a lot less movements and cover a lot more ground with a smaller machine, and probably get into a lot tighter areas.
And that's key. So as you get wider, the chances of getting it bridged, getting into something unintentional becomes greater. So the 44-inch, actually, it's really hard to get this thing into a bad spot that you can't get it out of.
Gotcha. Man, looks pretty cool, man, behind the scenes.
it does.
I told him like 3 times, no rides.
We've joked about riding it. It's not a good idea.
No rides.
I didn't see no seatbelt.
Well, I don't know if you noticed over here, but we might have just the perfect place
We've got some ground to play with.
to see
sure.
what this little bugger will do.
Yeah. So we'll have to kind of clear a path because, like you said, the weeds are taller than the machine, so it'll be interesting.
Well, let's get this thing fired up and see what happens.
The track bias?
I told you it's only a matter of time before we get the demo guy down here. All right, we got this thing fired up and going. Just give us a quick little overview of the controls, because they're pretty simple here on the remote.
Okay, this is a wobble stick. You forward, reverse, left, right, angle, in any direction.
Gotcha. So basically this is all directional.
Yes. This stick, as Eli said, raises and lowers the deck, and we can see that here,
Yep.
the whole thing going down. But it also works as a steer when you go left and right.
So you can steer with this one or that one.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Correct. Your track speed, as Eli said, and then your track bias, if you want to keep, if you're on a hillside that's wanting to crab walk, you can speed that, or slip down the hill, you can speed that bottom track up to keep
So you can
it,
kind of compensate for that a little bit.
Yep. Yep. And again, it shows your cut height, your engine RPM, and your mile per hour.
You think it's a good idea we maybe go out here on the flat ground and make a few loops when we go over a hill?
I would recommend that you do that.
Who's got insurance on this thing, you or me?
I do.
We'll go straight for the hill.
All right, show's about ready to get real, huh? Hey, you know how we were talking? There ain't no water? I see water over there.
Anybody that's ever flown a remote control airplane knows whenever it's flying away from you, your controls are one way and then everything's backwards when it comes to you.
Yep.
This thing switches automatically. So right here, see I'm going forward, I'm going away from me, I turn that way, see how it's turning?
Yep.
I go this way, and look, whenever I go backwards, it switches the controls.
Ah, yeah.
So if I want to go that way, it still goes that way. He's a cute little guy out there, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
All right, then that's the deck height. See it going up and down?
Raising and lowering the deck height.
That's the only button left to find is the one that turns his blades on.
Yeah.
creature's crawling on.
Yes, it is.
We're gonna let the experts control it first.
Good idea. Yep. Oh boy, here we go.
Well, man behind the scenes, you're never shy on your opinions. What's your first impressions there, bud?
Well, I'm glad there ain't a seat on there for me to sit on, but no,
especially the initial start.
I would really love to see you operate this from the living room.
I think I could do it.
No, it did really good.
I mean, for a one pass, I mean, the cut's not absolutely perfect, but this is some nasty material we're cutting, and we're kind of pushing this little guy to the limit. But man, power-wise and everything, it seems to climb the hill just fine.
Yeah.
This is, if I had to guess, the steepest part of this is about 30. It gets steeper, we go that way. So we're still well within the capabilities of the little booger, right?
Yeah.
Little booger, is that this new nickname?
Little booger, huh?
I don't think these guys are probably like that.
Yeah.
We'll stick with RC lawnmower. All right, I think they're going to let me take the controls. Now, what these people didn't see off camera that we've seen in person is that thing's just as safe with me at the controls as this guy.
I think it's safer with him.
All right, let's see what happens.
All right.
Assuming they forgot to tell me which one was the blades.
Oh.
So I just start flipping switches.
Just don't flip reverse.
I'm going with
right
this one.
All right. All right. You ready?
I figured it out. This one.
All right. Yep. All right.
the Mow Button.
Oh man, this might get scary here.
Hey, I think you can do your house in the living room too.
Give it a shot.
Oh, there she goes. We do have a slope meter on the side of it right there. We're not really in the steep stuff right here. This right here is only about between 25 and 30. We'll see if they'll let us test the limits over there a little bit later. This grass is kind of slick too. You know, one thing I noticed, it don't throw a lot of debris or anything out.
No, I know it.
It's all pretty self-contained to itself, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, hit a little slope there.
This would probably be easier to mow if the grass wasn't like 6 feet taller than the actual mower.
Yeah.
You can go a little bit farther if you want to. A little farther. Right there.
I love how this backing up.
Oh, it switches over. I know. It takes the thinking out of it.
Yeah.
And that, I'm sure there's sensitivity adjustments on that, but that controller is like nothing's really fast or crazy. Everything's really controllable. That little guy looks so cool crawling around on there. I don't know if you guys can see the slope indicator on the side of there. 30% right there, about 27 and went to 30% right there. So. What do you think, you master operator?
I think I am. It's real steep right there.
It does get real steep right there, don't it?
It gives that pucker factor, but you're not on the machine. I missed a little bit right there, but I can explain myself. That's where you wanted me to go forward up the hill. Well, when you go forward up the hill, your controls are backwards, and I didn't know which way I was going. So that is my fault, but you made me do it.
Did you do it?
Like coming up backwards, I know which way I need to go.
I will say this though, I mean, me and you just hopped right in and started operating this thing. It's pretty easy to get the hang of.
And if they ever watch my operating skills, they know I can do it. So if I can do it, they can do it. Tear the grass up. Oh, I better watch where I'm going.
Yeah, you better watch where you're going. Just because you're not on it don't mean you don't have to operate it. We've seen the up and down capabilities. You think she'll go side to side?
Getting ready to find out.
So Eli, we should probably point out, for a one pass in this particular machine and this material, that's a pretty good cut.
That's a pretty good cut.
Obviously, we're going to have to, because even if we cut this with a brush hog, it may take 2 cuts to get this stuff knocked out.
It's a traditional grass.
Right. It'd be completely different wheel in fescue or something like that.
Oh,
Sorry, glad you apologized for that.
Did that hit you or hit
It hit me.
I want to see it on camera because I think it was right by
Hey, man behind the scenes, there's a big hole over there. Look at that, man. It looks good, that second cut, though.
yeah.
You want to lower your deck height down a little bit for the second cut?
Yeah.
To push of a button right here.
Oh, yeah, it's fine. Now.
This one right here.
Yeah. Push forward and down.
Forwards down.
Oh, forward.
Look at that.
All right. Now, what does it show on the screen?
Right there, 5.2.
Oh, okay. We'll go 5?
Yeah. Go 4.5.
4.5.
We'll compromise.
Nope,
Perfect.
way too long. All right, here we go.
You guys run across there, no problem, don't you?
Yeah. I should have cut a straighter line that first one.
I was gonna say, you know what that's gonna look like from the drone shot? it's clear you don't have auto steer there, bud. She's doing her thing though.
Yeah.
You know what they should sell with these? There's a really nice lounge chair.
Oh, I know it.
That should be an option.
That should be.
We've always got ideas for them. That looks sharp. We should probably also point out that you're running about half speed.
Yeah.
Well, Eli, that was a fun little afternoon.
That was.
Damn it, ain't it? Damn it.
There's a whole long story about calling people the wrong name on this channel. We've been known to rename people. We'll try not. We'll try not to do that today. But all in all, we mowed across there. 2 passes on this thing. Looks awesome. We found a few spots down there. I think 47 degrees was kind of its. I wouldn't say its limits, but as far as we were able to push it down there for sure. But all in all, it worked awesome. The major problem I got is how well he took to it.
He was pretty impressive.
Oh my goodness. But with that being said, it's crazy how fast, like with the way that remote works and it knows which way you're going to and from, and it kind of changes the controls for you. I mean, I hate to say it, but I think a trained monkey could do it.
Yeah.
That's right.
It is.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So that's part of it, is being able to give the machine to somebody that doesn't have to be an RC expert.
The learning curve is way more minimal than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
You know, I'm one of them guys that I always enjoyed. I thought sitting on the lawnmower, and that was like a peaceful spot for me. But I think if I could talk him into getting one of these, I'd run one of them all.
Well, the other thing is they need to sell a nice reclining chair option.
Yeah, That's right. And that nice cooler to go right next to it.
Yeah, I bet you they could even brand those, you know, and we'll have a whole line to go with it. So, but all in all, we're kind of running a little short on time here. We got a late start and we got other obligations we got to do, but we got the majority of the dam mowed. First time it's been mowed in almost 3 years. So it was some pretty thick, nasty stuff. The little creature, the little booger did awesome. They did awesome. So
we'll come back next spring.
Can't thank you guys enough for the team to come down, letting us demo it. We greatly appreciate it. If they're interested in any of those, we'll link a website down below. That'd be the best way.
What model is this, so you can tell, so it's not the little booger? But,
we call this machine the Talon RC. Obviously, RC standing for remote control.
Remote control.
Yes,
all right.
Best thing to do is find your local dealer on our website.
Yeah, and that's the same for pricing too, because it may vary a little bit depending on location. So we'll get you linked down below if you guys are interested, man. Municipalities, probably some farm ponds, some ash ponds, reclamation ponds, DOT. That would be that'd be right up their alleys for sure. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, big old thumbs up. You guys know the routine. Huge thanks to the folks at Dixie Chopper, man. It's been awesome hanging out with these guys today. Sometimes it's as much about the people as it is the equipment, and today was a win on both behalves. Don't you agree?
Appreciate that.
So all right,
it was.
Tell them bye, man.
How many comments do you got to get before you'll buy me one of these? Christmas is right around the corner.
I would say 1,000, but I'm afraid we might get there.
What do you think, Eli? 1,000 sound good?
I'll have to contact my local dealer for pricing.